Hey y'all, what is going on? What is going on? So, I know this ain't my normal setup. I just wanted to make a video real quick. My short that I had uploaded on YouTube about why do I think Diddy is getting out of jail. I know. It sounds crazy, but just listen, okay? And yeah, I got my notes. So, all right, let's look at the situation here. I don't know if you guys been seeing what's going on lately, but they dismissed like 5 charges from that case. Like, let me just give you a quick little rundown of the initial reason, like what really got him put into prison this time. So, he had a producer on the Love album. That was the last recent album that he did, named Little Rod, that accused him of basically essaying him, bringing workers of the night into the mix. He also was saying that basically Diddy was using funds from his record label to commit crimes, and they had some type of contract that basically Diddy breached. So the RICO alone carries 25 years. That was dismissed. The trafficking, that's 5 to 25 years, dismissed. That right there would have put him in there for about 50 years. Those charges were dismissed. Okay. The fact that whatever with the contract or whatever, they didn't ever have that in writing, so there was no way that they could even prove that he did anything when it came to a contract. And they couldn't prove that he was using funds from his record label to commit crimes. They couldn't prove it. So they dismissed those charges. So if you think about it, they relied so heavily on those charges. It's like, okay, what is he going to get now? Like, he's probably going to end up getting a lesser charge, and they might release him and let him be on parole or some type of monitoring or whatever. Like, I'm not saying he's going to get away scot-free, but I feel like there is a chance he's going to get out sooner than we thought. Way sooner than we thought. So pretty much right now, the defense, their only strategy most likely is going to be proving that whatever encounters that were had when it came to this case were consensual or not. That's really all they have. And like the baby oil that was allegedly it wasn't baby oil, it had other stuff. And, they might be able to get him on some, substance charges. But other than that, like, what are they really going to be able to charge him with? Like, actually charge him with when it comes to this particular case? Because you have to prove that he was paying someone for those encounters, for one. And you have to prove that it was consent or not consent. And it's like, if they're already dismissing these charges for lack of evidence, what actual evidence do they really have other than someone saying that this happened? And I'm not saying, or I'm not, discrediting this man in any way, but it's like, if you already, went this far to do all this, what evidence do you have? Like, what actual evidence do you have? It's not looking good. Like, it's really not looking good. I honestly thought, like, I'm gonna reserve my opinion for the end, but like, I'm not saying this man is completely innocent of everything. Like, I'm not saying he never did anything, But when it comes to this particular situation, it's like, again, what proof, like, you gotta, regardless of if this happened or not, when you take something to court, when you sue somebody, or when you're, trying to incriminate somebody and saying that they did things, you have to have proof. You have to have evidence that these things happen. And if you don't have that, regardless of whether it happened or not, the only thing that you can do, if it even gets that far, is convince the jury that this happened. That's like the only thing. That's why I'm saying the only thing that they have riding on them is convincing the jury that these encounters were non-consensual. And, I'm not saying the R word is okay in any sense of the manner, but it's like, it kind of doesn't give you too much hope that he would get that much time, because there are child R words in PDF files that get way, way less time than they deserve. Way less time. And now this brings us also to my next point. Because these charges are being dismissed, and because, if you think about it, like, pretty much since the Cassie situation, it's been lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. So once this little Rod situation came out, a couple other lawsuits, like, not even a couple, a lot of lawsuits then came out. And my fear was, that because with this situation, it's lack of evidence, it's lack of this, lack of that, it's, charges are already being dropped. Like, how is that going to look for the other lawsuits? Like, I feel like if they're not coming with concrete, hard, solid evidence, then these other lawsuits are going to come crumbling down as well. Now, as I was trying to gather, information, like a little bit more information on this, so I knew what I was talking about, this actually brings me to a situation that popped up. I got a notification that said there was a lawsuit filed by Jane Doe alleging that she was basically alleging that she was essayed by Diddy back in 1995. And she filed this lawsuit back in 2024. She didn't identify herself. She filed under a Jane Doe, stating that there was a situation back in 1995 that took place of Diddy essaying her. And she basically, for whatever reason, filed under a Jane Doe. Maybe it was out of fear or whatever. But for whatever reason, her lawsuit constituted her that she had to refile by March 20th under her real name, or the case was being dismissed. Now, I don't know why that would take place, because, it's not like you have to. I guess for court reasons, you have to file under your real name, but the real name does not have to be let out to the public. I'm not sure how that works, but for whatever reason, she had to refile under her real name by a certain amount of time, by March 20th of 2025, or the case was being dismissed. She failed to refile. The case was dropped. Literally, as I'm doing my research for this, that pops up. And then I get another notification that there was a man that he did list his name. He actually filed a lawsuit about a situation that happened back in 2015 at Emilio and Gloria Estefan's house. And basically this man was saying that he went to this party and was forced to parade around with, eggplant taped to his mouth. And he saw LeBron James there wrapped in a towel. And Beyonce and Jay-Z was there. And, once again, I'm not, even though this sounds crazy, I'm not going to say this man is or is not telling the truth. All I'm saying is he's going to have to have proof of this stuff because of the situations that are happening prior to this. The Jane Doe is not, refiling under her first name. Maybe she's afraid or anything like that. But now this is my opinion talking. I would feel like if I want this man prosecuted for what he did to me, regardless if it was however many years ago, if that's what I have to do to get this case pushed, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let it go. And once again, I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anybody else. But that's just how I look at it. Like, if you knew you had to file an order under your real name by this deadline in order for it to get pushed through, then that's what I would have did. But again, maybe she's afraid. Maybe she doesn't want her real name out there or whatever. But either way, because she didn't do that, because she didn't meet the deadline, now her case is dismissed. So now with Little Rod not providing evidence of what happened, his case is dismissed. So it's like any other lawsuit that comes after this has to be hard, concrete evidence to back this up in order for this to even make it. And like I said before, I would be surprised if this even makes it to trial. I will be blown away if it makes it to trial. Because right now, it's really like, once again, when this all first started going down, it looked bad for Diddy. It looked bad. It looked like he was about to be put away for a long time. But now, as things are slowly unraveling and time is passing and things are coming out, it's looking more and more like he's going to get out at way sooner than we thought he was. Like, it truly does. It looks that way. It truly looks that way. Now, like I said, this is my opinion of this matter. It's not, like I said, I'm going to tell it how it is. I'm going to say what I want to say. And that's just going to be that. But I'm going to say this. I'm not saying that this man is a saint. And I'm not saying that there are things that I heard about that I truly believe. Like, let's be real here. When it came to Cassie had evidence. Cassie had proof. Like, once this man sat here and said, I didn't do those things to you, I never put my hands on you, all that stuff you're saying is a lie. And then literally right after that, a video comes out showing us that yes, it is true. And then he tried to come with a BS apology after that. You cannot sit here and say a lot of this stuff sounds crazy. You can't say that. Because either way, with the whole Cassie situation, she settled, like, she had the lawsuit, he paid the money, that was that. Like, I feel like that was already not taken care of, but that was already that. Then, yes, I feel like after that situation, everything started to snowball, and that's when lawsuit after lawsuit started to come about. Because let's be honest here, when the lawsuit came out, they didn't arrest him. He paid the money before anything could even happen. Case was closed. Then this whole because remember, after the Cassie thing came out, that's when this Little Rod situation came out. Because remember, this was the lawsuit, not Cassie's lawsuit. This was the lawsuit where it was stating that he's seen videos of Justin Bieber and Usher, and how Carisha was there in the studio and she was doing stuff, and like, this was the lawsuit that was naming all this stuff. So once the evidence comes out, or if there is no evidence to prove all of this, what is he going to be charged with? What is there left to charge him with? Because honestly, from my opinion, the way all of this has been put out into the public, like, yeah, the baby oil was funny, and everybody was laughing at that. And then when they found out it wasn't really baby oil, when you start looking at recent articles and recent talks about the situation, the focus is on the trafficking. The focus is on the RICO. The focus isn't on the baby oil. So it's like, okay, are you guys going to revert back to trying to charge him with substances that he wasn't supposed to have? Because if that's the case, it's like the defense can work. They can flip this whole situation to make it seem like all you guys are doing is trying to tear a black man down. All you guys are doing is trying to put false narratives on this man. He already paid for what he did to Cassie. Why are you guys trying to, because you've seen that he paid that money to Cassie, are you guys just trying to have a money grab? Are you guys just trying to make it seem like, he's just this terrible guy? Like, that's what they're going to try to say. And I promise you, I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to say. They're going to try to flip it to something else. Like, they're going to deflect from the substances and all that stuff and try to flip it into something else. Because at this point, the only thing they have to do is convince the jury. All they got to do is convince the jury to charge him with lesser things. They're going to say he's a father, he's, an icon, he's this, he's that. And if the jury feels like, he sat in jail all this time, maybe if he gets into an anger management program, or if he, only spends one more year in jail and then gets out and has to do this and that, like, this can really turn into something else. And when that does happen, he's going to get the last laugh in all this. And I feel like this. If he gets out, he is going to tell. Like, I really, really feel like that. Because, no offense, I'm just stating the facts. Let's remember, his father was known for being a teller. It could run in his blood. And a man like that, let's be real, he does have an ego. He does have a pride issue. He does have an anger issue. He does feel like he's the boss. He got to be on top. You're not going to sit here and try to play him. He's going to come out and say, since none of y'all wanted to help me, since none of y'all wanted to be there for me and speak up on my behalf and say that I didn't do all these things, now I'm going to show everybody what y'all was doing when y'all was coming to my house. Like, I really feel it. Like, I can kind of see it. Like, I can see him making a whole thing about this. Like, everybody was worried about me doing this, but these are the people that was really doing this. Like, and then in a sense that could really, like, tarnish him and put him back in jail, because that is revenge, what. But I can see him getting out and, like, just telling the real of what was going on when it comes, not when it comes to him, but when it comes to these so-called tapes that he has and the parties and all this stuff. Because the cat's out of the bag. We know you're a freak. We know you're into some weird ass shit. Like, we know now. We know. So it's like, at this point in time, you might as well just come out and be like, yeah, these people was at my house and this is what they was doing, without really showing what they was doing as far as the tapes go. But he could still tell it. And now I am so intrigued to really see. Like, I was intrigued before. Like, once all this came out and, the stories and all that stuff, my interest was, how is this going to play out in court? Now that with this going on, now I really have a strong feeling he's not going to do as much time as we think. And I really feel like when he does finally get out and he finally can speak, he's going to say some shit. Like, he's going to say some things that are going to scare people. And that's why I feel like a lot of people were, like, just not saying anything and letting the situation play out how it is and hoping that he gets all this time, because then nobody's going to find out what they were doing. Because let's be real here. Things were going down. Like, things were happening at them parties for sure. But the question is, the things that were happening at this party, minus the substances, because obviously that's illegal, the things that was happening at this party, if people were down with doing it, if everybody was like, yes, this is what we came here to do, this is what we want to do, that's not against the law. If he was having people come from different states for, encounters, but he wasn't paying them, and it was a mutual agreement upon each other, that's not illegal. So there would be no reason for him to be charged with anything. That's what people are not understanding. Like, they think that him having the freak offs is illegal. No, it's not. It's not. If it's not technically, if it's not like an exchange for money, if it's not non-consensual, if everybody's in agreement to do this, it's not illegal at all. So I just had to come on here and make a quick video and give my point of view, because like I said, I did make a little short on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure people were just thinking I'm just making a video just to be funny. Like, no, I really believe this. Like, I really believe he's going to get out. And I'm not wishing that he gets out. I'm not like, oh, yes, I want him to get out. No, it's not that. But I'm going to tell y'all one thing right now. When it comes to anything that I talk about or anything that I'm looking into, I'm always looking into the facts. I take my feeling and emotion out of the situation, and I look at the facts and base my opinion on the facts. I don't like to base it on the he say, the she say, and all that. No, I want to base my opinion on the facts that are presented to me. And then I go off of that. That's the only thing I care about, is the facts. Like, yeah, we can, gossip and this, that, and the third, but when it comes to situations, I want to talk about the factual and look at what's going on, and then try to make a determination off of what is being presented. The fact of the matter is, if those people were at those freak-offs and they wanted to be there and they were not being paid, that is not against the law. It's really not. So, being as though, like I said, we didn't think any of these charges were going to be dismissed, and 5 of them has been dismissed, on top of a lawsuit being completely dismissed. A different lawsuit other than the one that he's being questioned, well, the one that he's incarcerated for right now. I'm telling you, y'all know I'm going to keep a close eye on this. Like, it seems like there's updates every day, but that update right there was the biggest for me. Like, that was crazy. Like, that blew my mind. So, y'all know I'm going to keep it updated. I'm going to, still going to be looking out for the trial on May 5th, even though I don't think there's going to be a trial. But if there is a trial, I'm definitely going to be covering that topic, along with a few other things that's been going on through the week. But stay tuned.